Hey guys, what's up? This is Pastor Jimmy, and this is a little thing we like to call short and sweet. And it's where we just take and summarize our message from this past Sunday. Now, I understand that it is already Friday, and we usually try to do this sooner, but I have a really great explanation for that. I forgot. Totally forgot about the short and sweet, but I remembered, so, better late than never, right? So this past Sunday, I spoke on the title of my message was An Exclusive with Dr. Luke. Now, you're like, who's Dr. Luke? Well, Dr. Luke is one of the early followers of Jesus. He is the one that wrote the book of Luke in the New Testament, but he also is the one that wrote Acts, the book of Acts. And the book of Acts actually picks up where Luke left off, and he was actually a physician, and he was a disciple or a student of Paul, the Apostle Paul, and he did a lot of traveling with him. So a lot of his story in the book of Acts is about the early church, and he talks a lot about Peter. He also talks a lot about Paul, and there's some places where he's getting stuff secondhand and getting information from him, but there are places where he is actually traveling with him. And when I'm reading the book of Acts, there's a lot of things that are just jumping off the pages, but one is just how much the early church leaders protected the unity within the believers. I mean, it was a big deal. And just as it is now, there is so much power in unity. And when we are fighting and bickering and gossiping and just putting each other down, well, that causes division. And then that is, you ever heard of you're only as strong as the weakest link. So when we start putting each other down, what we're really doing, we're all one body, so we're really just putting ourselves down, and we should be building each other up and strengthening each other. And I'm not going to go into all the stories that I spoke about on Sunday, but one that has really stuck with me is a shipwreck. And Paul, he is actually a prisoner. He is on his way to Rome to be executed. And they're like, but you can take one friend. So, he phones a friend, and that is the good Dr. Luke, and just shows how much he loves Paul. He's not a prisoner, but he's going and riding in this boat with these prisoners. It's a shipwreck, and they end up on this island called Malta that they did not even know existed. And when they get there, what you see the Apostle Paul doing is he is caring for people. Luke talks about this one time where they're building a fire, and where can you find Paul? Well, he's picking up sticks, and in this, he picks up sticks, and this viper, the snake, comes out of the sticks, and he bites him. The snake is literally dangling from Paul's hand. And this is a pretty big deal. Actually, it would be for me, because I am absolutely terrified of snakes. Like, I don't care what kind of snake it is. People's like, it's not a poisonous snake. It don't matter to me. I will die of a heart attack before that snake even has a chance of biting me. So anytime I see a snake, I don't care how big or small it is, I just run. Just totally being honest and transparent here. I have ran from water hoses before, okay? They look a lot like snakes, so, it's easy mistake. But here's Paul. He gets bit by this viper. Everybody's freaking out. Paul just shakes the viper off and keeps going. Why? Because he is caring for other people. He's not even fazed by this viper biting him. And then later on, they go to this guy's house, and the guy's dad is sick. Paul just goes right up into his room, and he prays over him. He's healed. The guy's healed. And then everybody in the island is like, they hear about this healing. So all these people that are sick, they start coming to Paul, and Paul prays for them. And the Bible says every single one of them were healed. By the way, if you're in a new place and you want to make a lot of friends, performing miracles is a good way to make friends. Just saying, just throwing that out there. But in this, we find where Paul, you never see where Paul is like preaching sermons or teaching or saying, hey guys, that snake that bit me? Well, that snake, that's a representation of sin. And what we need to do is when sin comes, we got to shake it off. And the only way we can shake it off is through Jesus. We don't see that. But what we see is where Paul is loving and caring and taking care of other people. Why? Because that is what is most important. The Bible talks about it. It talks about all these different gifts in 1 Corinthians, and it says, but above all of them, it is love. And when we just love one another, and it's impossible. If you're loving one another, if we're all loving each other, well, division is going to be pretty much impossible, right? Because we're showing love, and love brings people together. It doesn't divide, but it brings people together. And it's why it's so important for us as believers and as the church to be unified as one body. All right, guys, that's it for the short and sweet. All right, I love y'all.